What's going on, guys? Welcome to Formula 7 Racing. This is the Gold Division. I do apologise for numbers, as you can imagine. The tennis final, the Euro final, and the Gold Division usually starts at 7 p.m, but we're on at 3 p.m. today, so that's the reason for the numbers being low. I can't hear any audio from the game, so just bear with me a second. There we go. Right, I'm just going to do a quick sound check, make sure that sounds okay. I think it does sound alright, but I'll just double check. So we are on board with Turbo Snail, who's going to set the first lap around Australia. Remember, it is 35% races because of the low numbers instead of 50. Oh, and a huge snap there for Turbo Snail. Jack is on a lap as well, the Mercedes driver. Don't worry, mate. It's all about just getting to the end of the race. Pretty much guaranteed points. Oh, invalidated it for Jack, Lewis and Jeremy. Lewis is on the lap just before Jeremy. So the Aston Martin driver just touching that curb. He's looked very strong in the opening couple of races, has Lewis. And F7R Jeremy as well, representing that F7R brand, the German driver. Great to see in the Williams. Now here comes Lewis out of turn 8, down that DRS straight towards turn 9 and 10 for the Aston Martin driver. Here comes Lewis. Remember to make you aware, we are now partnered up with a few different leagues. They are on the screen if you want to check them out. Just over there. Jack has retired. Oh, Jack has binned it in the final corner, so he will be starting from the back in the sprint race. Lewis went up to P2, Jeremy in P3, a 1:16.5 from Turbo Snail. He's stopped sandbagging now. Maxi up with a 1:17.0. We've got Bradders on the lap as well, Senjo, Ulster and XD Paco. XD Paco, who leads the championship, will come out of the final corner down the pitch straight on the mediums as well. And XD Paco, 1:16.4 for him. We have a couple more drivers. We have a couple of McLarens. Bradders has invalidated it. So there is Senjo right behind him, going into the final corner. Oh, it slips it out. He does have a little bit of traffic in front of him as well. He will still just try and get that time on the board with 7 minutes to go. But it is the Norwegian driver. Up towards the line he goes, and it's a 1:17.7 after that huge slip. Ulster in the Haas will be next to set a lap. Let's see what he can do. So Ulster out the final corner. Ulster 1:16.1. Let me just turn this telemetry off. 1:16.1 for Ulster. What about strategy? Niels Hendrick, a purple sector 1, keeps it valid. Fanfler starting his lap. Bradders is going to be next. So the McLaren of Bradders. This should be a good race. went a little bit deep there, Bradders, but he's just trying to get a feel for it. He's not had much practice, only just come on the game, but he went really deep into the final two corners. But it is P7 and 117.4, but there's definitely more in the tank. Here comes strategy in the Haas, down towards line he goes, and it's P2. It's a Haas 1-2 here in Australia for the sprint qualifying with 5 minutes to go. Niels Hendrick, the Dutch driver, is going to be next to the line. Niels Hendrick goes P10 at 117.7. What about the Dutchman of Fanfurness? He has invalidated it. So, the Mercedes, the Haas of Ulster going into the pit lane. 5 minutes to go. And then we go racing in the sprint race. Only 7 laps in the sprint, with it being a 35% race. If you are wondering, the standings are there below for you. That's the current standings for the Gold Division. So is Niels Hendrick going again? No, he's on an in-lap. So Turbo Snail in the McLaren is on his way back out. Does have the Red Bull behind him as well. That is Fanfurness. And here comes Turbo Snail for another crack at that pole in the sprint race. Down towards turn 1 for Turbo Snail. Right over the curb and just slips it out. But he is going to carry on going. But that would have cost him a lot of time. And then down towards turn 3. Nice and neat through there, up towards turn 4, just easing off the accelerator and over the curve again for Turbo Snail. This is not a good lap for Turbo Snail, and it will cost him a chance at getting right up there with the 2 Haas drivers. There's nothing more Turbo Snail really can do from this point. Looks like the opportunity has evaded him. So many more opportunities to overtake as well now in Australia, especially since they sort of took out the corners at the end of Sector 1 and the start of Sector 2. And just DRS all the way down now. It gives a great opportunity for drivers to make more moves. And that's what we'll be watching. Turbo Snail is still going to go to the line. Oh, he's built up his battery again. He's going to go for another lap. Senjoy's on an outlet. All the other drivers still in the pit lane at the moment. Bradders is on his way out. Turbo Snail, will he get a bit of a helping hand off his teammate? That's a lot better through turn 1 and 2. DRS is enabled. But the question is whether Bradders will assist his teammate in any way here. With 2 minutes to go in the sprint qualifying. Down towards turn 7. And his teammate is still in front of him, and it does look like the 2 papayas are going to work together here. Out of turn 8 and down the DRS straight. Turbo Snail gifted a slipstream from his McLaren teammate. It is Bradders that has given him a helping hand here, and he's going to go straight on. He hasn't given him a helping hand. He's completely blocked him. Oh, wow. We were there thinking that the McLarens had worked together, but no. Bradders has completely messed up Turbo Snail's final run. Oh, that is devastating for the McLaren team. Bradders, surely, he had so much opportunity to move out the way. He was all the way down the DRS straight. Turbo Snail was right behind him in his slipstream. He goes provisional pole, Turbo Snail, with a 1:15.9. A brilliant lap. But surely it could have been a lot better than that. And Jeremy, the man from Germany, starting his lap as well. Turbo Snail in the comments, slipstream win, he says. We were thinking that the McLaren had hindered him and held him up, but apparently not. Maybe he moved out the way at just the right time, and instead of him hindering him, it was absolutely timed to perfection, that slipstream. A 1:59, incredible time for Turbo Snail. That is a top gold time. But it is going to be Jeremy next, coming through turn 9 and 10. And then down towards turn 11, a little bit of traffic with the McLarens in front of him. Has Turbo Snail returned the favour? Well, it doesn't matter anyway because he has invalidated it. And he's got 10 seconds to get to the line. The checkered flag is about to wave. It's going to be Jeremy first to the line. He is 4 attempts up. And Bradders is going to miss the line. Bradders misses the line by 1 second. Jeremy goes P2. A 1:59 for the Williams driver. Lewis is going to be next. The British driver goes provisional pole. A 1:15.8 from Lewis. Ulster in the Haas will be next to the line. Down the pit straight goes P2. Provisional front row. Strategy into the pit lane. He has invalidated it. It's got even worse. He DNFs. Fanfinish yet to set a lap time, and he's got to put it all down on this one-shot quali. Up to P7 he goes. The Mercedes is going to be next. Niels Hendrick. Here we go. Niels Hendrick to the line. Stays P10. Then Senjo, the Norwegian driver, to the line. Senjo goes P6. It's going to be XD Paco, the man that leads the championship, has invalidated it. He has invalidated it. And Maxi Block will be the last driver to the line. Maxi Block from Belgium. And it is Lewis W that takes pole position here in Australia. Absolutely fantastic. So there you have it. Lewis W takes pole here in Australia. Ulster will start on the front row of the sprint race with him. Turbo Snail in P3, on the mediums as well, by the way. Jeremy in the Williams in P4. His teammate just behind him in P5. Strategy in P6. Senjo in P7. XD Paco in P8. His teammate of Fanfinish behind him in P9. Bradders in P10. Niels Hendrick and Jack, the two Mercedes, in P11 and P12. Bradders invalidating an XD Paco on his final run, also invalidating it as well. Half a second separate the top 8. Turbo, what a 1:59 on mediums around Australia is absolutely crazy. You absolutely do need to be moved up. Fair play though, your pace has come a long way, mate. And you definitely should be hanging with the big boys. Right, here we go. Formation lap is on. Thank you to all the drivers that did turn up for the race. It's massively appreciated. I know there's a European final going on later. I know the tennis is on. I know that the time has changed. It's usually 7 p.m. We changed it to 3 p.m. So I do appreciate all the drivers that have turned up for the race. Lewis W on pole though. Wow. So before we get going, if you've not seen already, this is the drivers' standings. XD Pack on 75 points, Maxi Block on 33, Strategy on 30, Merckx on 21 as a reserve, Jeremy on 20 in the Williams, Lewis W just got pole position, also on 20, and then Reese on 18. F1 Lexi on 15, and Mr. Poem also a reserve on 12. Dennis on 12 as well, and B-Rat, the three-time world champion, on 10 points. TTL Nick on 8, and then we've got Ed Williams also on 8 points, and then Turbo Snell, who is also a reserve, probably be a full-time driver now, on 6 points. Fanfinus on 4, Cryptic Salt also on 4 points, Bradders on 3, who's also a reserve, Nath Clark on 3, and then we've got Super Turbo on 1 point. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, Oster. I'm not sure. Here we go. This is it for the sprint race. Let me just close this because there's a bit of noise in the background that I don't want you to hear. The kids are all getting ready to go out and watch the match. Here we go. This is it. Oh, please don't tell me it's done this again. There we go. And it's all lights out and away we go. Lewis got a good start, but so did Ulster as he goes down the inside as they go in towards turn 1. Ulster will have the inside line side by side with the McLaren as well. The Aston Martin is being swallowed up by Turbo Snail, who comes through. The Papaya is up to P2. Lewis down to P3. He's got Jeremy in the Williams trying to lunge up the inside. Nearly locks up, but does an amazing job of getting that car slowed down. Lewis is into the wall. And Jeremy as well just clips the rear wheel. He's lost the front wing, and it's absolute carnage for Lewis and Jeremy at the start of this Grand Prix. It's now Ulster who is the race leader at the start of lap 1. Turbo Snail in P2, Maxi Block in P3, Strategy in P4. The Haas is in really strong positions. Sendro P5, the 2 Red Bulls, XD back on Fanfinus in P6 and P7, Bradders in P8, the 2 Mercedes in P9 and P10. But so unfortunate for Jeremy and Lewis. W maybe needed to be a bit more aware of what was going on. They were in so many strong positions and really fluffed it for themselves. Ulster does lead coming into the end of lap 1. Wow, Turbo Snail in the McLaren right on his tail. DRS all the way down to P12 still, but Lewis will probably have to pit unless he stays out to not use another set of tyres, but he is missing an end plate, and he does stay out. It's only 7 laps, and he knows that he doesn't want to waste another set of tyres for the main race. He's also got another qualifying session. He already qualified on pole, but it's the feature pole that matters. So remember that DRS is now enabled. Brilliant stuff. All the drivers still within DRS. Jeremy and Lewis are not losing too much time. Lewis, especially considering he's got damage, really through no fault of his own there as well. Lewis just tried to give the space. You could see him losing positions to give the space, but the eagerness of some of the drivers, and it's so unfortunate. What's going on, Ben? How you doing, mate? I hope you enjoy the match. I hope we bring it home, I really do. But Jeremy, as we've seen last week, is a very, very clean driver, so we know it's there's no bad intentions there, just a really unfortunate incident. So Turbo Snail still all staying in position. Maxi Block into the podiums in this sprint race, vital points. And who is that? That's Niels Hendrick in the Mercedes that's round. Just waits for Lewis to go through. Niels Hendrick is round. And look at this, Turbo Snail right on the rear diffuser of Ulster in front in the Haas. And then we got Maxi Block in the Williams just watching on a few of the cars, but they're just trapped in that DRS zone. And there goes Jeremy on Jack, makes the move, and the Williams driver up to P9 and not far off the points now. Ulster still leads, but they are trapped in that DRS zone. Nath Clark, absolutely, mate. Yeah, join, because we've still got the feature qualifying and the feature race to go, so just jump in, mate. Here comes Turbo Snail in the McLaren, The McLaren driver goes round the outside as they go down towards turn 9 and 10. And it is Turbo Snail that is in the lead. You see the Red Bull there as well of XD Paco trying to make a little cheeky move around the outside, going through the chicanes. And the Red Bull is going to go for it. Fanfinus having a peek up the inside of Central, but spins it, gets on the pedal too early, puts his foot on the gas, and he is down, and Niels Hendrick has spun it again. Jack in the Mercedes up to P9. Jeremy with the recovery drive up to P8. Bradders, XD Paco, Strategy, Maxi, Ulster, and Turbo Snail, who is your race leader on lap 4 here in Australia. Can Ulster get a good exit though? And he backs out. Clever racing from Ulster. And Turbo Snail will know what he's about to do. Look at this. This is what racing is all about. Ulster right on the tail of that McLaren in front. And the Haas is going to go on the inside, down towards turn 9. And what about the Williams as well? Here comes Maxi Block, and Maxi Block is in front of Turbo Snail. Up to P2 goes the Belgium. Senjo has still got an opportunity for a podium in the sprint race. XD Paco, the championship leader in P4. Williams and Maxi Block. Jeremy with that 3-second time penalty. Look at this, the front 5. We are on lap 5. So Jeremy, he does have a time penalty though. That will put Jack into the points. That is XD Paco that is throwing Turbo Snail round the outside. Turbo Snail gives him the room, and XD Paco takes it with both hands. A great move from the Red Bull. This is where Maximot will try and come back at Ulster. Ulster yet to win a race, whether it be a sprint race or a feature race. It's a great opportunity for him. Nath Clark is in and will race in the feature. Nath, I know you're the Mercedes driver. Just jump in any car and I'll sort it out on the standings, mate. Niels Hendrick is out of the sprint, and there's a slight lock-up for Ulster there. And that has put Maxi all over the back of him. Maxi but with a great opportunity to get the victory in the sprint race, but they've got XD Paco all over him. What does Maxibot do now? 2 laps to go. It is still Ulster that leads here down under. But Maxibot with that DRS again. XD Paco will be patiently waiting for the opening that he so desperately wants. Here comes the McLaren of Turbo Snail, and XD Paco. Well, he didn't expect this, and this is going to help Maxi and Ulster. Turbo Snail and XD Paco is going to burn that battery. XD Paco's got the straight line speed, though. Maxi Block is through on Ulster as well, and the Red Bull tries to go for a move. He's gone a little bit deep as he opened the door for Turbo Snail, who is literally clapping at the back of his rear wing. Ulster just watching as Maxi Block will take the lead going into the final lap of the sprint race. But now it is all in the hands of Ulster in the Haas, who will have the opportunity to overtake the Williams on the last lap down the DRS straight. XD Paco still in with an opportunity, potentially a P2, and Turbo Snail with a phenomenal drive here, making a few moves on different drivers. Ulster just waiting again. Jeremy is through on Bradders, the Williams on the McLaren. Jack has fell off the gold drivers a bit, but Jack always shows up when you need him. Maxi Block in the Williams. He's trying to play a game here. He's trying to play a game, and it's working really well. Maxi knows that the only opportunity he's got is if he starts to push the Haas into the back of the Red Bull as he just slows down through the corners. Ulster with a slight slip, but this might be it. Ulster might get the victory here in the sprint race. He will burn this battery, and he will open the rear wing, and Ulster is going to go for it on the very final lap of this sprint race, and the Haas driver goes in towards turn 9 into the lead of the sprint race. The McLaren all over the back of the Red Bull. Bradders is back front. Jeremy as well down towards turn 8 and 9. But his XD Paco is going to try and make a move on Maxibot. Maxibot has the inside line. The Red Bull just collapsed into him. Turbo Snail is going to try and go through. He collides with a Williams. Strategy is into the podiums in the sprint race. Senjo is also front. Turbo Snail. Maxibot still in P4. Ulster slides around the final corner and down the pit straight, and it is Ulster that wins the sprint race here in Australia. XD Paco takes P2 and Strategy P3. Great points for the Haas team. Drama at the end between Maxi and Turbo Snail. What happened there? So at the end of the sprint race, it is Ulster that takes the victory here in Australia. XD Paco from 8th on the grid will take P2, Strategy P3, Maxi P4, Senjo P5, Turbo Snail P6, his teammate in P7, Jeremy P8, Jack in P9, Fanfinis P10, Lewis P11 and Niels Hendrick P12. Lewis, who started on pole position with that collision with Jeremy right at the start of the race, really unfortunate for him. We go on to the main qualifying session now, and Nath Clark is also in the race. Nath Clark, if you are listening, just pick any car, mate, and I will sort it out when I go to the standings. Sorry guys, I have been muted. I do apologise. Yeah, Leclerc, if you've got any problems with anybody coming on, we've got stewards who will help you out. That's the whole point of them being there. I don't know if I said this before, I muted the mic, but we have stewards who spend hours and hours going through incidents and updating penalty sheets and making sure drivers take penalties. So just report it with the stewards and they'll sort it out. Remember guys, if you are looking for any sim rigs, go and check out our partners, Rock Solid Rigs. They make unbelievable rig sim setups. Like, they are top of the range, sturdy, handmade, top quality rigs. Go and check them out if you are looking for a rig. It is top of the range rigs. Like, you're going to pay top dollar for it, but you're going to get the best of the best. They are unbelievable. Rock Solid Rigs on Google, or just visit their website by typing !RSR in the Twitch chat. So Senjo with a 1:16.4. We do have the McLaren of Turbo Snail on a lap as well. XD Paco in the Red Bull. I think he's just coming around the final corner. He is. XD Paco up towards the line. And it's a 1:15.6. Remember, I don't know if I was muted when I said this, guys, but if you do want to come and join, as we've just seen in the chat, !Discord. We've got the biggest following on TikTok for any esports racing league. 15,400, 2,200 on YouTube, 1,300 on Twitch, over 400 drivers in the Discord. One of the biggest platforms for you to come and race on. !Discord in the chat if you do want to come and join. We race every single Sunday, bronze, silver and gold. Monday with Fantasy F7 and Wednesday with realistic performance driving. So yeah, come and check that out if you do want to come and join or race in one of the biggest leagues online. And we do have our partner leagues as well. If you want to check them out, we've got GXRS, F7, MSC F1 and Aon Racing League. So all of our partners as well. So we only partner with the best. And if you are looking for an esports team to join, TTL is the team that have your back. Go and check them out. We do have a lot of TTL drivers here, and we've been partnered with them for a long time. And as I said before, we only partner with the very best, as we do with our partnerships with Rock Solid Rigs. They're the best setups around. Same with the leagues that we partner with, and also the esports teams like TTL. Niels Hendrick in the Mercedes. We've got a house coming through as well. That strategy starting his lap. Niels Hendrick in the Mercedes. 12 minutes of qualifying remaining, and into the pit lane goes Niels Hendrick. Nath Clark has invalidated his lap time. Ulster, the race winner in the sprint races, also on a lap. But I think strategy is just going to know he's behind him, so we will jump on board with Ulster. Purple sector 1 for the Haas. Down towards turn 9 and 10. Oh, Jeremy is left. Hopefully he can get back in. I will just send another invite to him to make sure that he is back in. So Ulster coming in towards turn 12. Up towards turn 13 for the Haas. And then into the final chicane at turn 14. Eyes on the prize, just beaming through the helmet of the tinted visor. Down to the line, and it's P2 at 1:15.9. What about his teammate of Strategy? Coming out of turn 14, down the pit straight to the line goes Strategy, and it's P3. P2 and P3 for the two Haas drivers. We do have Lewis coming, who did get pole position in sprint qualifying that was ended with a collision from the Williams. Lewis W on the mediums goes up to P5. Then we have Nath Clark as well. Is he going again? He is. And the Ferrari driver, we'll say Ferrari driver so we don't confuse people, but he is a Mercedes driver. He just joined late and a reserve was in his car. We saw the Ferrari driver. Nath Clark, oh, it loses the rears coming round turn 12. And the Scuderia will probably have to go again. you're kidding, Jeremy. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm sneezing. I've got a really bad allergy at the minute, so I don't like to sneeze down the night. Like that. Oh, right. Jeremy with a power outage. Hopefully that will come back. So, Fanfinus on an outlap as well. Nave Clark did go up to P81 19-0. Lewis W. Is Lewis going again? He's got purple sector 1. He is going again. He's 2-100, so keeps it valid. And down towards turn 9 for the Aston Martin driver. This is the trickiest part of the circuit. A left and a right without losing the car, and that was beautifully executed from Lewis W in the Aston. Down towards turn 11 we go. That rear wing closes as he enters the corner. Foot down on the exit. And nice and tight to the curb, using the left-hand side to keep that pace flowing. No lock-up, no swerve. A slight snap as he just keeps hold of it. The same again through turn 14. Goes out wide. That was a bigger snap. But he is putting everything on the line here, Lewis. To the line. And it's a 1:16.4. He is 1,000th down on his original lap time. So he is on the limit. XD Paco still on provisional pole with a 1:15.6, which is an incredible lap time here in Australia. So Fanfinus didn't set a lap time again. Senjo going into the pit lane. Nave Clark, is he back out on another lap? No, not yet. I think he's going to go into the pits. Niels Hendrick is back out though. Oh, and he's just touched the grass. And he just touches the grass, sends him spinning around in towards turn 13. And into the pit lane he goes. And I think that is Maxi Rock who's going to be next. The Belgian driver yet to set a lap time. And then down the pitch straight to the line. Maxi goes P6, a 1:16.4. Fanfinus will be next with just under 7 minutes to go, but he has invalidated it. Turbo Snail has invalidated it as well, but right at the start of his lap. That's the worst time you can invalidate, and it's so frustrating because you've got to go all the way round just to try again. Paul J on TikTok commenting saying ERL is better. That is absolutely your own opinion. I would never slate off another league or say we're better than another league. We're all in it for the same reasons. We're all doing it for the same things, and that's so that we can all race and enjoy ourselves and all work as a community to race together. So good luck to your league, and I hope you absolutely smash it. Turbo Snail will go again after invalidating it, so here we go. I think Bradders is also on a lap in the McLaren. He went purple sector 2 as he goes down towards turn 11. Oh, he went a bit too wide as he tried to go into that corner then, but it was still a relatively clean line as we go down towards turn 13, staying away from that grass. This could be a good lap for Bradders, who's currently in P8. And then down the pitch straight towards the line goes the Papaya. What can Bradders do? And he does improve, but stays P8. And he's 2.5 temps up on his lap time as well. Turbo Snail has invalidated it again right at the start of the lap. He will be kicking himself. He's probably going to have to pit now. Sorry, guys. I was on board with Nave Clark, and we did a lap with him, and I was on mute. So it is going to be Senjo who's going to set the lap as well. It was a great lap that I just commentated on as well for Nave. So we will go on board with the Norwegian driver. He's won a few trophies here. I've had to send a few trophies to Norway over the seasons. And we go back on board with Senjo. A lot of the drivers rushing out of the pit lane now. Hopefully they don't get in the way. Over turn 1, invalidates it. Senjo will have enough time to get around again, but he invalidates it at turn 1. Nave Clark did improve by 2 seconds. Bradders, what's just happened there? Bradders has just hit Jack and got a 5th place grid penalty. That is very, very strange. It looked like Jack had slowed down to let him through, and Bradders went into him. Every driver on an outlap rushing to get a lap in. So we will try and find the leader of this pack. And I think it is going to be Nave Clark. It is Nave Clark who's just built up his battery to go again. So we ride on board with the Scuderia driver once more. Over the curb at turn 1 in towards turn 2. A slight slip through there, but nothing that will turn him down quite a bit. Down towards turn 3 we go, nice and tight to the chicane. In towards turn 4 for the Ferrari driver, the Englishman, putting it on the line now. Foot to the pedal. And in towards turn 6 and 7. Over the curb at 6, invalidates it and slides round. We've got the Aston Martin of Lewis W's right behind him. We've got pole position in the sprint qualifying. He's already half a tenth up as he comes out of turn 8. DRS will be enabled for the Aston Martin of Lewis W. From one Englishman to another. Down towards turn 9 and 10 for the Aston. On the softs he goes. Over turn 9. Over turn 10. Executed sublimely. Down towards turn 11 for the Aston Martin. What can Lewis W do? Can he make it 2 from 2? The checkered flag has waved here in Australia. Qualifying is over. The drivers can do no more. Down towards turn 13 for Lewis W. Gets it perfectly well. In towards turn 14. Uses the left-hand curb. And then pedal to the metal. As we go down towards the line. Lewis W goes P3. And then Ulster has invalidated it, so he can do no more than P2. Here comes Strategy to the line. Strategy goes P3. It's the Red Bull of Fanfitness that goes P6. The McLaren of Turbo Snail can do no more. XD Paco, the championship leader, on pole position to the line. And he does improve even more. Ulster into the pit lane. We've got the Mercedes drivers of Niels Hendrick and Jack coming next. Niels Hendrick, the Dutchman, to the line. P11. What about Jack? P10 for Jack. The Aston Martin of Senjo is in the pit lane and Bradders has invalidated it. It is pole position for XD Paco. He was not making the same mistake twice after invalidating it in the sprint shootout. And he is now on the top step once more. He's won every race in the opening 3 races. He sits on 75 points. So XD Paco takes pole position here in Australia. Ulster takes P2. Strategy, his teammate, will take P3. Lewis W in the Aston Martin in P4. Turbo Snail in the McLaren in P5. Fanfitness in the Red Bull in P6. Maxibok in the Williams in P7. Senjo in the Aston Martin P8. And Bradders in the McLaren P9. Jack in the Mercedes will take P10. Nave Clark only on the mediums. So it starts in P11, Niels Hendrick in P12, and Jeremy, who had a power outage, is not able to set a lap time. But XD Paco, who has won the opening 3 races of the season, will start on pole position for the feature race. Remember, guys, exclamation mark Discord in the chat if you want to be a part of Formula 7 racing. We are one of the biggest leagues in Europe. We have a huge following. We have a huge platform as well. 15,400 followers on TikTok, 2,200 on YouTube, 1,300 on Twitch. And then we have 400 drivers in the Discord. We race every single Sunday, Monday and Wednesday. 3 divisions on a Sunday, depending on your pace. So yeah, I keep reiterating that because if you want the best platform to race on, you are looking at it right here. Come and join, and we can get you racing for next Sunday. Formation lap is on. So this is it. Our partner leagues, GX, RS, F7, MSC, F1 and Aeon Racing League. So this is it, the feature race, 20 laps around Australia. And we are going to see some huge competitive racing. If you are watching on Instagram, TikTok, Twitch or YouTube, exclamation mark Discord in the chat. If you are watching on Instagram, go and check out Rock Solid Rigs if you are interested in purchasing any of the top of the range rigs, and I mean top of the range. Go and check them out on Instagram, Rock Solid Rigs. Here we go. So this is it for the feature race here in the Gold Division. And it's lights out and away we go. XD Paco did get an amazing start. Maximock already through on Fanfinus. Ulster will have the inside line on his teammate as well. Ulster goes through, strategy right behind him. Lewis this time doesn't get taken out in the Aston Martin, but he's trying to get away from Turbo Snail. Maximock already up one on Fanfinus, who's wheel to wheel with the McLaren as he goes up the inside of Turbo Snail and does make the move. Maximock up to P5. Jack is through on Nave Clark in the Ferrari, and so is Bradders in the Papaya, who's through. Nave Clark tries to come back at him as they go in towards turn 5, and they do have a slight touch of coming together, but it is Nave Clark that is through on Bradders. Niels Hendrick and Jeremy is there as well in the Williams. I think Jeremy's back in the race, I hope so. XD Paco leads by half a second to Ulster, Strategy, Lewis, the two house drivers in phenomenal positions once again. Maximock already up 2, but he's got Turbo Snail clinging onto the back of his rear diffuser as they go down towards turn 11. But it is Ulster that leads. Jack is through on Senjo, the Aston Martin driver. Nothing he can do. The Mercedes with the straight line speed in towards turn 11. Jeremy and Niels Hendrick just battling for P12. So at the end of lap 1, it is going to be XD Paco that leads the Australian Grand Prix. Ulster does still have DRS, and as long as he keeps that DRS onto this lap, he will have a chance at sticking with XD Paco here, because DRS does come on on lap 2 now instead of lap 3. But he won't get it down towards turn 3, so he needs to stay really close to the Red Bull in front. If he loses this pace, it will be a long night for the drivers behind, who are all locked in a DRS train. XD Paco might have just got away with it. I think he might have done. XD Paco might have just lost the DRS to the Red Bull in front, and he has. But he is catching up to him, but he's not going to get that DRS down towards turn 11. Did he get the DRS? Because he is caught up to XD Paco a lot there. I think XD Paco was maybe burning the battery to stay away from Oster, but 4/10 of a second is the gap now. Senjo on Jack, goes deep, and Jack says thank you very much, and so does Nave Clark as well. A cheeky move from the Mercedes. Bradders is also through on Senjo as he starts to struggle, and Jeremy on his tail. So Oster has got the DRS now, and he is in the DRS train all the way from P1 to P13, the whole grid locked in that train. That is a yellow flag. That is Niels Hendrick that is round again. He's been struggling since qualifying with them rears. XD Paco only 3/10 of a second in front of Oster. Could Oster make it a double on the day and win the sprint race and the feature race? We shall see. As Oster now starts to attack, that DRS is open, and Oster will move into the lead of the Australian Grand Prix. The Haas driver is through. Turbo Snail trying to go up the inside of Maxi Block, a cheeky move, a desperate move. Nave Clark is through on Jack and the Mercedes. Now Bradders wants a piece of the action. The Mercedes on the McLaren. The McLaren on the Mercedes down towards turn 11. Bradders is through. Jack tries the old switcheroo once again. Deja vu from lap 2. And down towards turn 13. Bradders goes deep. Jack looking for an opportunity to respond. And XD Paco now, who's on the mediums. Oster is on the hards. So this is amazing for Oster, who is leading on the harder tyre. Jeremy in the Williams is through on the Mercedes of Jack. Also a 3-second time penalty for Nave Clark. Niels Hendrick into the pit lane. And Niels Hendrick will need something special from here. So Oster will be in front this time down the DRS straight, but I'm sure XD Paco will let him know. Senjo with a 3-second time penalty. That's huge for the Aston Martin. XD Paco has not been able to make the move. Oh, Oster, wow! Oster held on to that. So, Oster still leading, XD Paco in P2. Let's have a look at the tyres. So, Oster is leading the pack on the hard compounds. But here comes XD Paco now for a piece of that first place. And Oster is defending, and XD Paco is just waiting as he just lifts off. Through to 9 and 10 they go, and then down the second DRS straight. Jack now with a 3-second time penalty. Fanfulness on Turbo Snail as they go down towards turn 11. He'll have to go the long way round though. Turbo Snail gives him the space. And here comes Nave Clark in the Ferrari to go up the inside of the Red Bull. It is a squabble for P7, but it is Fanfulness that just fends him off. Can Nave Clark get his foot down earlier than the Red Bull? Into the slipstream goes the Ferrari. And down towards turn 1, but it is Oster that still leads with 14 laps to go. Ulster is really feeling himself here in Australia as he just slips through turn 3. Needs to be careful that he doesn't throw this away. Turbo Snail with a 3-second time penalty. SD Paco in P2, Strategy in P3. Nave Clark on Fanfinus will make the move, and the Ferrari is through. Can Fanfinus do anything about that? Not this time around, he can't. Jeremy's just lost that DRS train to the drivers in front. Now here comes XD Paco, who holds off again, and Fanfinus is round. The Red Bull driver is into the grass coming out of turn 10. He is missing an end plate as well. And that might be race over for the Red Bull driver. He'll have to get a new front wing. Luckily, it's around the pitch strategy anyway. He can go onto the hard compounds and get to the end of the race, but he'll need something to help him out now. Here comes Ulster and XD Paco. What was the pole time for Gold Don Dedge? I think it was a 1:15.6 or something like that. Yeah, 1:15.6. So, Ulster still leads. XD Paco just lifting off. Senjo made a mistake. Jack goes through and into the points. What about Nave Clark on Turbo Snail? Out of turn 7. Jeremy with a 3-second time penalty. And that's Neil Senja this round again. Bradders with a 3-second time penalty. XD Paco seems to be playing the game here. Remember, they're on completely different strategies in this race. Senjo is back through on Jack. Neil Hendrick is out in the pit lane. Bradders is through on Jeremy, but Jeremy's just got the traction to get through, and the Williams driver with a very nice overtake there on the McLaren. The McLaren goes deep, nearly hits the back of him, and Maxi Bock has gone for the undercut. Into the pit lane goes the Williams. Over the curve at turn 1. So Maxi Bock, Turbo Snail and Jack all pit for the undercut here in Melbourne. Fanfinus with a 3-second time penalty. The two Haas drivers are in very strong positions. Senjo gets a 10-second time penalty for speeding into the pit lane. Yeah, the Haas drivers will put a real dent in the constructors. So Ulster stays in front for another lap. Oh, Maximot with a 3-second time penalty. He's gone for the undercut, but he's paid the price. So it is. Oh, that is Bradders on Jeremy. Once again, the McLaren and the Williams are battling. And they're battling very hard. Down towards turn 13 they go. Lewis W is into the pit lane. The driver who got pole position in the sprint shootout is into the pits. Remember, Ulster is on the hard compounds. His teammate Strategy on the mediums. Lewis W in the pits. Let's see where Maxibot comes out in comparison to Lewis W, who's on his way out of the pit lane. And Maxibot does come out behind Lewis, but he has caught up to him a lot. That is a yellow flag. That is Sendro in the Aston Martin that's round again. That is Bradders and Jeremy. The amount of times they have swapped positions in this race. Bradders goes in front, but Jeremy will get the DRS. There goes XD Paco, finally makes the move and back into the lead of the Grand Prix where he started. Here comes Jeremy in the Williams on the papaya of Bradders. He will take the long way round, but that doesn't matter with that rear wing open. Down towards turn 9 and 10, and Jeremy is back in front, but cuts the curb onto the gravelly goals. Bradders sees an opportunity in front of his eyes, but is not able to take it, and Jeremy is a very lucky driver to still hold that car there. He did an incredible job to hold on to that that Williams car when he hit the gravel. Wow. So Ulster and XD Paco 1.5 seconds clear of his Haas teammate. Is he going to go for it? Remember, here comes Nave Clark. Nave Clark is on a rampage here. He's up into the podiums. Oh, Strategy is left. No, get Strategy back in. He's in podium places and on for some good points for Haas. Turbo Snail setting the fastest lap of this Grand Prix. Here comes Ulster. Can he retake the lead? The Haas of Ulster. Is he going to do it? He's going to go for it. And they're going to go side by side through turn 9 and 10 here. No, XD Paco just slots back in behind him. Ulster looking very quick. Strategy needs to get back in his car. XD Paco around 6 steps behind Ulster. When does XD Paco pit? He's staying with Ulster. And you know what? It doesn't surprise me. Maxi Block is through on Lewis. Nath Clark is into the pit lane. But it doesn't actually surprise me. Oh, Nath Clark with a 10-second time penalty speeding into the pit lane and just retires. He was in a really strong position, Nath Clark. Oh, wow. And that has gifted a lot of drivers a position. Bradders is back front. Jeremy's round. Jeremy is round. Strategies into the pit lane. I'm not sure if that was him pitting or his car pitting. He is back into this race, but his car has pitted for him. And his car has gone onto softs. This could kill his race. You've got to feel for Strategy now. Ulster still leads to XD Paco. And Ulster is just holding on. But XD Paco, I think, is going for a completely different strategy here. He's not pitting too early because he knows he's still got DRS to the leader. And look at this XD Paco. He's trying to go for this move. He's trying to get in front of Ulster. Strategy with a 3-second time penalty, but he is back in the car. Here comes Lewis W. They're going to go 3 wide down towards turn 9. Lewis back into the podiums. Maxi and Turbo Snail behind him. Both have time penalties. But it is Lewis W. up to P3. And Ulster's into the pit lane before XD Paco. XD Paco is still out on mediums and Ulster is pitting off hards. Wow. XD Paco could risk losing a lot of time here. Ulster is going to go mediums till the end of this Grand Prix. Ulster has got to put in a hot lap now. Here comes Maxi Block and Lewis, and Ulster has come out in front of him. That is exactly what he wanted to do, and the pit stop has been timed perfect. And down the inside goes Maxi Block on Lewis W. Lewis needs to be careful. He knows Maxi's got a time penalty. That position is his regardless of where Maxi finishes. Ulster 17 seconds behind XD Paco. That is a yellow flag. Jeremy will go into the pit lane. Ulster, remember, on the mediums as well. XD Paco surely goes into the pit lane now. He does. XD Paco is in. Ulster, let's see where he comes out. Remember, he's got Maxi Block within DRS range of him as well. But this is the interesting part of the race with 8 laps to go. XD Paco is already on his way out of the pit lane on soft compounds. He's on softs. Here comes Ulster. Ulster is going to come out in front of XD Paco. Maxi Block is there as well. And Lewis comes out in front of XD Paco. That is not what he wanted. The Red Bull driver now has to get through 2 drivers before he can compete with Ulster. And Turbo Snail is trying his luck. 7 laps to go here in Australia, and what a race it's been. Fanfurness in the Red Bull on the back. Asenjo loses it. Fanfurness into the wall. He just looks like he chucked his foot down on the car there and went into the wall. Did he get damage? He's missing an end plate, Fanfinus. He's in the points as well. Maximock and Lewis W are in DRS range of Ulster. 7 laps to go. Remember, Ulster on the mediums, Maximock and Lewis on the hards, and XD Paco on the softs. Turbo Snail also on the hards. Strategy still in a good position regardless, but that disconnection really screwed his race. Here comes XD Paco. Ulster sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, so he's doing everything he can possibly do to win this race. Can he make it a double on the day? He's already won the sprint race, Ulster, his first race win. And can he make it 2 out of 2 and leave Australia a very happy driver? Jeremy retires in the pit lane. Very unfortunate for you today, Jeremy. You had some fantastic battles, just you were really unlucky. Fanfre's on the back of Senjo. Will he go into the pit lane? He does. But it's Ulster that leads. Maximot chasing him down. XD Paco's got through Lewis. That is 1 down, 1 to go. Fanfinis also into the pit lane, gets a 10-second time penalty. Fanfinis needs to be careful here because he's guaranteed a point. XD Paco was looking for a move on Maxi then. Maybe getting a little bit impatient, but knows that he just has to time this right, because this has got a race victory riding on it. So here comes XD Paco. Ulster is now 8 tenths clear of Maxibot as Maxibot gets DRS. So XD Paco now setting the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. 5 laps to go. That is the Aston Martin of Senjo that is round again. I don't know what has happened to Senjo since last season. An incredibly quick driver who was fighting for victories every single weekend, and now he can't finish a race, finishing the points, or keep his car on track. He just seems to have really struggled with the new game, and it's understandable. Oh, Ulster with a huge slag there. I thought he'd lost the car. Remember, this is the way the standings look. But Maxi Block, XD Paco is through on Maxi Block. Now it is down to the Red Bull to determine his own fate on the back of that Haas. Yeah, Jeremy, it's just not your day, mate. It really isn't. I do feel for you. Senjo with another 10-second time penalty for speeding into the pit lane. XD Paco all over the back of Ulster. Remember, he's on the softs, Ulster on the mediums. Got to be careful, 5 laps to go. Remember, XD Paco's on the softs though, and they do fall off really quickly around here. And Ulster on the mediums. Fanfinis is out. Calls it a day in the pit lane. Bradders is through on his teammate. Turbo Snail coming out of the pits. 4 laps to go. Jack is up to P7. Oh, you're kidding, Jeremy. Typical, that. So, Lewis is on for a podium because Maxibot does have a time penalty. So, Ulster. We've seen how good the Haas driver was in the sprint race when it comes to defending his position and sort of prolonging the race to get to the end. And he's going to have to do the exact same in the feature race. Maximot goes wide again, maybe another warning. Ulster will be nervous. He will be relishing being in this position though. And it seems like Ulster can already get his foot down that a little bit quicker. What's going on, Red? How you doing? But if Ulster wins this, it is one hell of a drive. But XD Paco, who started on pole position after Lewis got pole position in the sprint qualifying. And now Lewis is going to get redemption after being taken out into turn 1 in the sprint race after qualifying on pole. he might be on now for a podium in the feature race. XD Paco, 6th, 10th behind Oster. I don't know if that's going to be close enough to try and make the move. Oster is so good through the end of Sector 1 and the start of Sector 2 that he builds that little bit of a gap to XD Paco every time, and he's able to just defend that position. Remember, the longer that XD Paco stays behind Oster and stays within that dirty air, the better it is for Oster, because XD Paco is on soft compounds and they do not last long around here. Still 4 drivers in with a chance of a podium. Here comes Bradders on Strategy. Strategy, who was in a podium position, disconnected from the lobby. The game pitted him onto softs, and that was the end. Here comes Lewis on Maximock. He is going to make the move, and Lewis is going to do it on track regardless of penalties, up to P3 with 3 laps to go. Bradders and Strategy, the Haas driver, is going to come back at the papaya in towards turn 1, and he is back up to P5. Still some good points to be won here for the Haas team in their constructors battle. Oh, Oster has got a 3-second time penalty with 2.5 laps to go, and to make it worse, XD Paco is going to take away the lead out of the grasps of the Haas driver. But Oster, with a 3-second time penalty, has just determined his fate and lost the victory here in Australia, and will now finish in P3. Unless by some miracle it was a warning where he had to avoid another car or he got pushed off, then it will stand. But he weren't battling with anybody, so I don't think it was one that could be removed. But there might be one earlier on, you never know, as we've seen with Strategy last week, where he was avoiding a collision into turn 1. So we are on lap 19, 2 laps to go, and Lewis is on for a P2 finish. The battle now, Senjo is out. Senjo has actually lost it. Oster is back into the lead with a penalty, but Senjo has actually lost it at turn 14, but it's too late for a safety car now. He was on for a points finish as well. So, Oster coming out of turn 8, down towards turn 9. Remember, if Lewis can get past XD Paco, he will win this race. Here comes Lewis, emptying that tank. Lewis will try and make the move. He's going to have to back out. Remember, XD Paco on them soft compounds. Lewis will be hoping that they're starting to fall off and give himself an opportunity at this race victory. They're going to go on to the last lap of this Grand Prix, and there's 4 drivers still battling for the race win. Here comes Oster. He did get a time penalty on lap 18 though, which might have cost him the victory. What a drive from Oster though. He has done everything he needed to do to try and win this Grand Prix. He defended with his life, but just remember, XD Paco is on soft compounds. They will be dying now. Absolutely burning. Let's have a look at the tyres. So he's done 7 laps on the softs, Oster 8 on the mediums, and Lewis 11 on the hards. And 7 laps on the softs around Australia is absolutely brutal. You can see it already. Lewis might see an opportunity. Lewis is gonna come and try and attack XD Paco in the Red Bull in towards turn 6 and 7. Yellow flags waving. Lewis got a great exit. Surely this is Lewis's opportunity to win the Australian Grand Prix. Into the slipstream of the Red Bull. He's gonna go to the left. But now XD Paco puts his foot down. He did everything. Lewis sees the race victory just in his grasp, but he's not able to pinch it out of the hands of the Red Bull driver. Oster, with a masterclass defensive display, truly should win this Grand Prix, but because of a penalty, he is going to finish down in P3. But wow, does he deserve more out of this race. XD Paco is going to come through. Can Lewis, as XD Paco struggles on them softs, could Lewis get him to the line? Oster goes through, but it's XD Paco that makes it 4 from 4 and wins the Australian Grand Prix. What a race. Wow. Thank you to all the drivers that turned up. I know that it was, we usually race at 7 p.m. We raced at 3 p.m. We obviously got the Euros final and the tennis and stuff like that. So I appreciate all the drivers that did turn up. I knew the numbers were going to be low today. What a drive, what a race. You know, you can still put on a show with 13 drivers, let me tell you. So it is XD Paco, your race winner. On the top step, once again, 4 out of 4 for XD Paco. 2 British drivers on the top steps as well. Let's have a look at the final standings. It is XD Paco that wins the Australian Grand Prix. He also gets the fastest lap as well. Lewis W takes P2 and Oster takes the last podium in P3. He deserves so much more. Bradders in P5 and Jack, the reserve driver, the silver driver in P6. Strategy deserved a lot more out of this race as well. There was a few DNFs. A lot of drivers struggled with the race, but it still showed. It was fantastic to watch. Great to commentate on. Remember, exclamation mark Discord in the chat if you want to come and join the biggest league in Europe, an incredible league. But yeah, thank you all so much for tuning in and watching, all the support once again. A massive congratulations to all the drivers that finished on the podium, and a huge thank you to all the drivers that turned up with this inconvenience that we have today. But the inconvenience, it's coming home. So thank you all so much. Enjoy the European